did it right. Oh my Lord. Vic,
Yes.
we did it.
We freaking did it.
Wait, I feel like sometimes with like things like this, I really feel like I am inside of the future.
Yeah, the future is now.
I was listening to a podcast about AI and school, like doing
Okay.
school assignments, like and how like professors and teachers are having to figure out how to give assignments to kids so that they don't just use AI.
To like answer like to like write your own essay
Yeah.
like on AI and
Yeah.
stuff. Right.
So the thing that I heard about is this thing called a flipped classroom, where basically like in the classroom you write the essays and at home you do the other stuff. I don't know, it was crazy.
Okay. So like yeah, you have to write it on the spot. That would be stressful as hell too. It's all stressful.
Okay, Vic, how are you and where are you right now?
I'm very well. Having a nice day at home in San Diego. This is my house, and my daughter Violet is taking a nap over there, but I think she's in. Oh no, she woke up. Okay, yeah, she's doing great. So yeah, so yeah, we're just hanging out. We just got back from Australia, so we're kind of taking time with our families and getting ready for the next move here.
Okay, let me ask this question, and I'm sure a bunch of people in the chat are curious to know, like, how has it felt? How has this tour felt? I feel like, I mean, in all of our conversations and in everything that I've also seen just on the internet, it seems like like, it feels like a real homecoming in a lot of ways. But
Mm.
how has it been for you, like, in your body? How are you
hmm
feeling?
That's funny. I think you were the first person I reached out to, like post pandemic, because I think you were one of the first people I saw get on stage, like after being home for like months, or after, I mean years actually.
Yeah.
Uh, so, and I remember you giving me advice that like it just all kind of snapped into place, and you kind of just felt back at home again on stage, and I think in a lot of ways it was pretty real for me too, like that same feeling once we got back on stage again. It kind of all started, um, you get reminded of that feeling and all your muscle memory. But I think it went way beyond that for me with this touring cycle, just because I don't know, everything just feels like we have like almost a different band, and it's like a complete the new record, and like everything just feels like super fresh, and feels like we kind of came back to like a different world of touring. It's been pretty amazing. I don't know how you felt, but
Yeah. I mean, I think the big thing for me has been a sense of not that I ever took being on stage for granted or touring for granted, but as not only have I gotten older and realized how like fragile and precarious life is to begin with, but then of course having who is this lady? My name is Christine Meredith Flair. Um,
somebody call you a lady. Who
yeah,
is this
I
lady?
like that. Who is this lady? Um, I
I like
I don't
that.
know. I ask myself that question every day, my friend.
Uh,
But I feel like yeah, there's just a level of just a level of like joy in being up there and having the opportunity to like all get together and do it, where I'm just like in the moment, really loving it, really able to connect. And I don't know if like people here watching, it seems like a bunch of y'all have been to live shows and have been going out, but I feel like having been in the audience at a lot of shows too, it's just like there's a different sense in the audience too.
yeah.
So um okay, well, we are here to talk a little bit about our new song Irish Goodbye, which by the way, you guys have been listening and supporting, and it's really been wonderful. We can take some questions about this song, but I'll just start off by saying, Vic and I had met like 4 years ago or whatever, and had just been in touch and just as friends, talking about making music. Like you were at the beginning of like Jaws of Life conceptualizing and
Mm-hmm.
writing some of those songs, and
Yeah.
we were just kind of communicating in that way. And I feel like one of the big things for collaboration is just like similar but different taste, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt like in our sharing of music, I was like, oh, this is this is somebody who also I share like taste with.
Mm-hmm.
um and so when I started working on Irish Goodbye, um you know, I thought of you as somebody who I would love to work with on it.
As you were
And
making it?
well, right after we made that first demo of it.
Yeah. Oh, sick. That's amazing. I
But then I was scared to ask you.
really? I
Yeah.
mean, it is pretty nerve-wracking to ask anybody like anything like that. I get it.
I always feel
That's
like I'm bothering people, you know?
yeah. No, it's yeah, you just don't because like when I come up with an idea like that, like I almost feel like the song it has to happen. Like otherwise the song isn't gonna be what it's supposed to be, you know? And I get really bummed if it doesn't, you know. So I get it.
Yeah. And then
But
when it was like coming together, because basically, just for everyone watching, like I had done a demo of this song and then had reached out, had been thinking about, oh, I should reach out to Vic, but I was scared. Um, and then I did, but you were like on tour, and also all this shit had happened with my ear, so my record was like being delayed, and it kind of ended up working out. But then I remember we were like agreed, okay, we can do it. This time's going to work. But then you were getting ready to have your child, and you
right.
were like, I don't know if there's going to be time, and I was like, oh no, kind of like your feeling of like,
Yeah. I knew
what?
I knew that we could make it. I knew I was gonna do this. I wanted to do it so bad. When as soon as you asked me, I was just like, I have to do this. This has been a dream of mine to work with you for so many years, and uh, yeah, I mean, I think I put it in my posts about the song. I was like, the first time I heard "Blood in the Cut," I was just like, I was mind blown. I was like, who who is this girl? This is like so unique, um, and then you just consistently just kept making cool stuff, and just I don't know, I just been a big fan of your artistry for so long, and this is huge huge honor for me to be asked. I was like, holy shit, I gotta do this. So
Oh my God. Well, I have to say it was so fun tracking for the people, for the people. Jaime on the Jaime on the beat, tracking. So we tracked. I went down to San Diego and we had such a fun day. Like I
it was
loved
so fun.
that day. Um, so Jaime was tracking vocals, and we kind of used your the setup, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you were saying that was kind of the way you had been recording vocals for Jaws of Life, right? Like
Yeah.
with that type of setup.
Yeah, it was like kind of great timing because that whole vocal setup was just ready because Jaime had been recording me for, you know, like a month or something like that, just doing a bunch of vocals, and so we had a great system going on, and so it was perfect timing that you wanted to do this, and we just kind of, you know, you came down to San Diego to my studio, and then we did it all in an amazing day, and it was awesome. So Jaime recorded it, recorded some stuff of you that never got used that I'm actually really curious about what happened with this. I don't know if
The
you want to talk
outro,
about.
we can
Yeah,
talk
okay,
about it.
okay. I don't know if you were like, cause guys, she did this outro for the song that is not on the album, but it was insane, and it was like I got to watch you perform in front of my eyes, and me and Jaime were just looking at each other like, what the fuck? This is this is like watching a master of their craft, like just doing their thing. It was pretty amazing.
Thank you.
Um, so what happened
Thank
with
you.
that? Why did you do
Well,
that?
so, you know, I think one of the things, and you know this well, when you're making a record is like deciding what stays, what goes, what feels superfluous, or like what serves the album. And I think the outro, which was kind of a broken down, um, sort of piano spooky little thing, which was actually really cool.
It
And like,
was so
to
sick.
be honest, like we may use in the live set. Like I was actually just talking with my music
Mm,
director, like because
mm,
some of that stuff that like doesn't make it to the record still really is cool and maybe is more of like transitional. But ultimately, the way that I felt about it was that it it decreased the impact of the
mhm.
song, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
made me a little less likely to be like, I need to play that again.
Sure, sure, sure.
So
I disagree,
that
but no,
well, maybe I
I
should put out and maybe I should put that version on the internet and then we'll see.
that would be sick. No, I totally get what you're saying. Like, because the song as a whole, it you know, these things, they I don't know, they shape it, and it has to, it has to be what you want it to be, and that's a big change to the song, having that piece. So I think it would be rad to do that live. That give him something special for the live show or
Yeah,
whatever you want. Yeah.
I think so too. Actually, now I'm decided. Um, okay, well, I want to open up the pit. Just kidding. Open up the floor. Um, to see
Like
if
how close we got
anybody
here.
have I'm trying to read these
You-
I'm all let me read these
Let me.
questions.
You look like my parents on FaceTime right now.
Yep. Um, okay, well, so people are kind of asking, here's a question. Well, okay, these are just some nice comments, by the way. Um,
Somebody said I looked high. I don't know if I look high or not, but
what does that mean? Like you look like your eyes are squinty? Is
I
that
don't
what
know.
that means?
Maybe I just look tired or something.
Well,
I
you're
don't
like
know.
a parent of a newborn. Of course, this man is tired.
I
Okay.
didn't sleep much last night. Violet was a little wild, but she's doing better though. She's getting there. She's getting there.
Okay, so let's see what we got in these. Oh, this is uh, uh, how long did the process take? How did this come together? So this is essentially, and I have a version of this song that's just me singing different parts. Um, that was like an okay, the structure of it was like understood. We kind of had a sense of like this is what the song's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big problems with that early demo, and it was one of the things that we had a lot of trouble cracking, that Vic, you were really instrumental, no pun intended, in solving, was what do we do on the drops? How do we make them feel really fresh musically? And how do we make both of them different? Because I think one of the things for me, one of the big differences in like a rock song versus like an electronic song, right, is that you kind of want it to have some bigger differences in those like heavy moments, right?
Sure.
And you played, actually, I can probably even play it right here.
Oh, you have the
I'm
you
just
got the
gonna get
track right
into.
there.
I mean, I got my laptop here. You don't even know what I have. You don't even know the wonderful things I have here. Okay, so this is Irish Goodbye. These are the stems. So if you guys will note on the first drop, there are like these like demon chords. What are those chords, Vic? You know the ones I'm talking about.
Uh, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I like demon chords. I like the way.
Is that a good way to say it?
I don't know. I don't know what the chord would be called, but it was very dissonant, um, like noise chord. I wanted it to feel way chaotic and like and dirty and like almost like wrong, like in some ways, and make it just
Totally.
just
Okay,
yeah, make
I'm
it
gonna
feel
play
kind of
them.
filthy.
I'm gonna play them right now
Yeah,
for
yeah.
everybody to hear. Okay, so I'm playing on my MacBook Pro speakers. I'm opening up my STEM session on Ableton. Okay, here we go. So this is what I'm talking about. These are the quote unquote demon chords. Ay, ay, ay. Here we go. Can you hear that? Or no?
I can't hear it.
Okay, hold on. Okay, can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to play them. I'm taking off my headphones. Shit is getting insane. Here we go. The demon chords, and they go.
Yes.
Okay, those are them.
Yes.
So that kind of really unlocked a big thing for me of like, okay, there are ways to make this song feel heavy and intense without just putting more and more and more shit on it. You know, just like, because really interestingly, instrumentally in this drop, it is the bass line and that.
Oh, wow.
And the drums.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah. I remember, when we recorded that too, I was like, we did it really quickly too. This was like on my amp that was just sitting next to me, and the guitar we were just, jamming on, and I barely tuned the guitar to like play that because we had the ideas were flying. So like, but I remember, we had a good thing going with that setup, and it just worked out really, really easily. It was awesome.
Yeah. So basically the process was I had this demo, sent it to you being like, hey, would you be down to sing second verse and be on this and play some guitar? We were like, yes, but also I'm on tour.
Right.
And then whatever.
This process was, I've never done anything quite like it because I liked this a lot because you came down to the studio and we recorded everything in one day, and right, it was just one day, right?
That's correct. One day.
And I just sang as much as I could for you, and you just kind of guided me and told me what you needed out of it, and we just kind of exchanged ideas, and I just threw like a bunch of stuff at you, and then once you felt like you got what you needed, we were in a good place, and that was way less stressful for me than if you sent me the song and said, "Hey Vic, like sing this over the weekend and see what you can do," because I would have like overthought it for like 2 weeks and like tried to like give you the most perfect version of what you were looking for, because I would have wanted to do good by you. But like, since you were there to just kind of help me through it and do it in the same room, and then you took it home and edited it, that was another huge thing for me, that I didn't have to edit it. You really kind of just took what you wanted out of the takes, and it was one of the most like I don't know, just enjoyable collaboration experience I've ever had. It was awesome.
No, that's great. And I think like, to me, that underscores an interesting point, and then we can I can let you go and be with your child.
We're hanging.
Oh, okay. How long can we hang? I can talk for a long time. I can hang out for a long time. But I think
hang until until the followers, the views are just
until there's nobody left on the chat.
If it gets down to like 10 people, then we'll call it quits.
But I think it underscores for me something that I am constantly, no matter what point in my career, I am reminded of, which is, oh, this is a good one. What's your favorite song from each other? Let's answer that after I say this one thing. I think something I'm just reminded of is that when there is the chemistry of not overthinking in the moment, when you are somebody who's been doing this and you're a performer and a vocalist and whatever, there's nothing that replaces that energy. And often, like, when I'm recording, I'm like, oh, it's got to be perfect, right? Or this idea of like, it has to be perfect. Well, so often what ends up being the take or the performance or whatever that I end up keeping in the song is one of my first takes, or it's the take I did in front of someone. And that to me is really interesting because like, even when we were retracking, so another fun fact, Paul Meany, who you guys worked with on your last record. Paul executive produced my new record.
Yep.
And one of the things that we did with Paul, which was great, is that I retracked and overdubbed a lot of guitars, like in an amp room. And so we did that on Irish Goodbye. There's a line in the second drop, a descending line that I retracked. And I had to play all the instruments in front of Paul. And I was like, okay, I can't mess up, and so, but there is something about just like the energy. It's why live shows happen and why they're good. It's like there's the pressure. It's important.
Oh, yeah. 100%. It's like how I won't go to the gym unless like I'm with like a trainer to help me like actually tell me to do stuff. Otherwise, I'll just be wandering around the gym looking at the machines and be like, like like but yeah, it makes you like accountable, and you want to do good for the you want to impress them, you want to impress yourself, you want to like really push yourself to do something awesome. There's a lot to be said about that.
So this is a message for anybody still in this Instagram live, that if you have a goal and you're trying to get something done, ask for somebody to come in the room, be in the room with you.
Yeah,
You'll probably do it faster and better.
They could literally just sit there. They don't even have to help you. They could just be watching you, and it would change your whole mindset. It's funny because like even like on our new record, Jaws, Jaime, I started recording a lot of the vocals on my own, and I've always recorded my own vocals for like the last like 3 or 4 albums, and I just like kind of didn't want to do that anymore, and I had Jaime come in and record me, and it was just we got a lot more done. We got more done faster. It was more fun to be in the room with somebody, and yeah, that's interesting. There's a lot to be said
apparently
about that.
in the chat, this is called body doubling.
Body
What we are talking about. Thank you guys for educating us on this. Okay, so you're body doubling, the key not only to schoolwork and work, but also music work. Okay, so I'm gonna answer the question: fave songs, fave PTV songs.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is gonna be controversial. I have 2 answers to this.
Okay, go for it.
My first answer is, and again, I don't know if this is controversial. My first answer is Past the Nirvana. I love that song.
All
Now,
right.
I know it's not an old cut, but man, I love that song. That is a song I listen to a lot.
I think you could have been on that song. You would have crushed like one of those verses.
I love that.
Sure.
It's like it is yeah, what is we are reading the chat. There's a lot of Roblox chatter on the chat right now.
Roblox right now.
Why are we talking about Roblox right now?
Oh god.
Okay, but I think Past the Nirvana, and then my introduction to you, which again feels like a little bit of a cliche, but it's King for a Day, and my old drummer was such a big Pierce the Veil fan, and I remember him playing it in the van. We were like on tour.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, what is this? This was, I don't know, 8 years ago or something. And I was like, damn, those melodies. That song has such good melodies.
Thank you.
It really does. But in the modern landscape, past the Nirvana, I am returning time and time again.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's tough. It's cool. I love that song.
Yeah, that song was Past Nirvana was one of the most difficult songs to accomplish vocally, because the performance of it was like really difficult to find the right vibe, because it's like almost kind of like rappy a little bit,
yeah.
And I didn't want it to feel like I was rapping. I wanted to feel like I was singing, but um, and it was hard to find the energy, the right energy. So I appreciate that. It's a weird tune. There's a lot of
How
weird
is it
stuff going on in that.
playing that song live?
It's one of my favorite
Yeah.
songs we've ever done live. It's so fun. Um, yeah, it's amazing to watch like the crowd like bouncing to it because of the rhythm of it and stuff.
I
It's
can't hear you.
yeah,
Sick.
it's so fun to play. Okay, now's your turn.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go old and new as well. Old, I was, like I said, I was introduced to you by Blood in the Cut and High Enough, and then
Hmm.
I I listened to that actual record a lot, and uh, I think I don't know. I like that whole record. When we talked, it was kind of interesting to me the way that I think you told me that the way that you write is you write a lot of like single note riffs, you know,
Uh-huh.
and it's not a lot of chordy stuff. It's like just like playing almost like you're playing the bass and you're coming up with these melodies on guitar, and it made so much sense to me when you told me that, looking back to that record and like all those riffs like high enough, like ding 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 ding, like and then Blood in the Cut, do do ding do do ding do
Totally.
do ding do 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 do, like and it that got me so excited to just hear you say that, because I was just like those two songs were, I think, my favorite on the record, and they're just amazing. And uh, uh, so, but I'd love hearing that about how you write, because that just like it made so much sense to me. Um, New record, Rah Rah for sure is insane. That song is so sick.
Thank you.
Uh, I don't know how you came up with that tune. That's a pretty like out there, like wild song too.
It is. It is
I,
kind of a weird one.
where what were you even like trying to do with that song? Like when you
You know what's
were writing it?
you know what's funny about that song? So that was made on the E string. Um, which is like, it's funny because I had to do yesterday. I had to
I
do like a
love it.
studio tour for like for an Australian like engineering magazine, like an audio
Mhm.
engineering thing. And I was like, okay, welcome to my home studio. And I was talking about making music, and I was, for me, and perhaps in the maybe y'all will have another body doubling type phrase for this, but for me, when there are limited options, I'm way more creative.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have, two synthesizers and three guitars versus like, oh, I'm in a studio with 45 synthesizers and 100 guitars, that's like, it's almost paralyzing, those options. So it's like, by limiting um my my
Yep.
options, I think I get a lot more inspired. So hilariously, Rah Rah was also written on the E string. Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom. It's,
Yeah.
I had to play it last night. I was like, right. Um, and
I need to look. I want to see your hard drive and see how many dope little single note riffs that you must have over the years. Just send it to me. I'll take all your little hits
all
that
my
you don't even
B-sides.
know are hits, and I'm gonna make a new record just out of that.
I mean, that actually sounds really fun. Let's do it. I'm in.
That would be
Keep me
fun.
involved. Keep me
That would
involved.
be really funny to send each other like our hard drives of like all the shit that we like didn't recognize as like or couldn't develop,
Totally.
and just give them to you, and just and give me all those songs, and I'll be like, oh my God, what was she thinking? There's so many good songs.
But Rah Rah was kind of funny because I was in a room with so I don't know if anybody here in the chat listens to Joywave, or if you guys know that band. They actually have a song with one of my favorite bass line and tones. Hold on, I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
because it's just so fucking good. Okay, here we go. It's called Dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go.
Oh yeah. I know that song.
You know,
When we were trying to find a producer for our record, I needed to know who did that song.
I
Because
don't
I was
even
just
know.
like,
I don't know who did that song. Let's see. Oh,
was it Big
Big
Data?
Data.
It was
Yeah.
Big Data, yeah. Yeah, he's dope. Um,
So Dan, who's the singer of Joywave,
mm-hmm.
me, Dan, and another guy named Brad Hale, who used to be in a band called Now Now. If anybody knows Now Now, they're like a indie band from Minneapolis. But basically, it was like the three of us were like got put in a session in LA. I don't even know why. Like it was like one of those things we all got in the room. And we're like, why are we here?
That's cool that
And
you worked with that guy though. That guy is like super creative, and I mean their music is rad.
yeah, I love Dan, and he's a really, really smart guy, really fun to be around, really sweet, just a great person. And we were kind of like, maybe it's a version of Body Tripling plus totally no expectation, totally free. That we're like, well, what should we do? And I was like, well, I'm kind of starting to think about a new record. And then I just kind of started noodling, and I was like, I'd love to do like a break beat, and I'd like to kind of push like that UK feel, the kind of like Prodigy feel.
Oh yeah, when it goes to that break beat, an instrumental towards the end of the song, where it's like, I'm like, dude, Prodigy and like all these like dope like bands from back then. I love it.
So no, thank you. So that was the beginning of it, and then I finished it once like I was making the record. But that was the genesis of it, was just kind of like having fun. You know, there wasn't much pressure. And Dan was the one who suggested this, but he really was like, I think the play, if you sing rah rah like a cheerleader, he's like, I think that's the move. And to your point about vocal delivery, for everybody like listening here, when you're tracking vocals, you want to be true to like your voice and how you typically like sing or perform, but you also want to service the track, and you want to be pushing yourself in different ways. And so that for me was kind of unlocked the key of like, right, sing it like a chant. And that really helped me hone in on what I was doing and how I wanted to do it.
That's dope. Yeah, I mean, hooked me in right away. I think you sent me the demo.
I did.
Or something you were making. Yeah, there's a lot of songs on this record that I can't wait to hear, because I think you showed me some stuff that maybe isn't out yet. And
yeah, you've heard some of it, not all of it. And you actually helped me on Raw Raw, because I had 4 different bridges, and I played them for you.
Did I? I remember you sent me some stuff, but I don't recall.
I actually was playing it for you in San Diego.
Okay.
And you helped me. So let it be known. Okay, well, any final words for the people?
From me?
Yeah, from you.
People?
Or I can start.
Well, I guess just want people to know when they're listening to this song that we had a fucking blast doing it, because I think that matters. And yeah, when you hear it, just know that we had a lot of fucking fun, and it was and I really love it. I love that song so much, and I have no shame listening to our own voices in my car, and it's been amazing. So yeah, what about you?
I think it's just, yeah, to me this is like an example of when collaborations just really like feel good. And I think like I don't know, you know how like and you know this, when you're like a part of something and you're just actually stoked on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes as a musician, like you put things out and you're like not sure, like you're not fully stoked, or like it was weird, or like the process making it was weird. To your point, like making it was extremely fun. I love you. I love all the new shit you're doing. It's just fun to do. And I'm like very, very stoked that people are liking it and enjoying it. And just want to say thanks everybody for playing it. Keep streaming it. Keep streaming it. Don't stop. Treat it like a waterfall. Let it flow and flow. I'm doing this again. It's like an ad for my teeth. My dentist would be so happy.
Yeah, his teeth are looking good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, well, Vic, have a good rest of the day. Thanks everybody for hanging.
Love everybody out there. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see this again sometime. This was fun.
Yeah, okay. Don't tempt me with a good time. Okay, bye everybody.